Hi Sagittarius, this is your horoscope for October 2018. From the 1st of October until the 4th of October, you're going to experience a lot of care and nurture in your working life. So you'll notice that people are unusually nice to you. And on the 4th of October, you feel very confident. You feel like you want to broaden your horizons in some way, and you want something exciting. You also feel like there's some sort of karmic connection possibly. And for some of you Sagittarians, it's really likely that you're going to meet your soulmate or someone who seems like a perfect partner for you on this day. That is really important because the 5th of October sees Venus, the planet of love, beauty and romance, actually go retrograde until the 16th of November. Now, I am someone who's not, oh, it's a Mercury retrograde, you can't travel. Or it's a Mars retrograde, you'll never get anything done. I'm not that serious about these things, but I have to say, last year there was a Venus retrograde. I ignored it and I got into a relationship during that Venus retrograde. And it was so twisted. It seemed perfect, everything seemed great, but it promised everything and delivered nothing. So Venus retrograde is not to be messed with. When any of the personal planets do go retrograde, we do kind of have to respect that. It's going retrograde in your 12th house of spirituality, and you've got Jupiter sitting in that 12th house of spirituality too. So the grace of the universe supports you, but don't go around trying to get into a relationship during this time if you can possibly avoid it. And if you can possibly avoid launching a new business during this time until the 16th of October, that would also be really good. Okay, if you have to, then make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. You actually have a very gentle entry to this Venus retrograde because on the 6th and 7th and 8th of October, the moon is in Virgo in your 10th house. So you continue to make good decisions when it comes to work. And then on the 9th of October, we have the new moon in Libra, and that happens in your 11th house. Now, I will make a separate video on the new moon and the full moon to give you more information about what happens. But the important thing for you, Sagittarius, is that the new moon happens in your 11th house, and it pulls in lots and lots of Libra energy. Now the 11th house is the house of hopes and dreams. You're transiting midheaven. The new moon and Mercury are there. Libra is able to build bridges, so you can use this new moon to really plant seeds of intention and say, this is the beautiful work that I want to create, or this is the job I want to see myself in. So for you, this is like a fresh beginning, a new start, so that you can create your hopes and dreams and realize them and manifest them in truth. On the 10th of October, Mercury, the communication planet, goes into your 12th house. So now you have Mercury, the moon, Venus and Jupiter in Scorpio in your 12th house. So the 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength, with Scorpio, you are completely laid bare to yourself. But Venus is in retrograde, so you can't trust some of those things. So don't do what I would suggest, Sagittarius, if you've built up some retreat that you're going on, or some sort of self-healing or personal transformation. I would recommend, if you've got tickets, fine, but I would recommend you delay that during the retrograde, because you're going to look at yourself and take a personal inventory, and things that actually you love about yourself usually will seem weird during a Venus retrograde. You won't feel them as much. So doing any kind of inner work is really pointless for you at this time, because you see yourself in a way that's not clear. And it kind of urges you to then, because Uranus is in the 6th house, it urges you, based on this faulty information, to make chaotic and dramatic changes in your daily routine, your work, and your life. So you may get the funny idea, oh, I have to move to Africa, that's where I'll find love and I'll be happy. Or I have to quit this job, it's making me miserable. So those kind of immediate thoughts, really exercise restraint there, because this is a month of self-restraint for you, Sagittarius. On the 11th, the moon is in Scorpio still in your 12th, so that energy is still there. Now on the 12th of October, the moon goes into Sag, and it stays in your sign of Sagittarius until the 14th of October. It's in your first house, and your rising sign in Sagittarius is also there. So from the 11th of October until the 14th, you're going to say, it's all systems go, I've got the information that I need, and I'm going to start this new business, or I'm going to start this new venture. Again, I would hold back. If you have to do it, make sure everything is in place, you're sure about what you're doing. If you have the potential to delay it by a month, I would take that, because everything that seems so fabulous and wonderful now, you will start to look at that very differently. And it would be so sad if you started a business and put a lot of work and energy into it, just to then sit there and say, I really don't like this business. What a waste that would be. On the 15th of October through until the end of the month, the sun is at 22 degrees in Libra in your 11th. Your transiting midheaven is in there as well. So you're focused on, I want to realize the dream when it comes to work. Do that in terms of planning, but don't launch the business yet. On the other side of that, with Uranus sitting in the 6th, it says it's at 0 degrees as well, so it's even more chaotic in Taurus. It says, don't be responsible, go travel, go play, go have sex, and have wonderful experiences, and travel the world, and discover new things, and new foods, and different cultures, and be completely irresponsible. And I really think you should go with the planning your career for future, because that's actually going to have a long-term positive effect when you get into November, and you hit the ground and you can do things, rather than in October for 2 weeks frivolously traveling the world and wasting your money and having no care in the world. Also depends on where you are. If you're someone who's been at war for 10 years and this is your first, the 15th of October to the 30th of October, the first time in 10 years that you get to enjoy yourself, go enjoy yourself. But if you're stuck and if you've been unemployed for 3 years, then use the 15th of October to the 30th to plan what career you're going to do and how you're going to apply for those jobs. So that stays strong with you, and for the rest of the time between the 15th of October until the 23rd, the chart becomes a bucket. It's held, so a bucket has a handle on the top, which is your North Node in Leo, and everything else is down here in the bucket, and it's being held by your North Node in Leo at 1 degree. So between the 16th and the 23rd, Leo at 1 degree, if it feels good, if it makes you feel excited, if it allows you to step into the spotlight in a responsible, consistent way, and it's not just a quick thrill, then pursue that. But if it does form a T-square with Uranus, so there's going to be that chaotic element, but what about now? I want to enjoy myself now. So I would, again, choose these 7 days to plan things. And then on the 24th of October, when the full moon happens in Taurus, that occurs in your 6th house next to Uranus. So the moon releases its energy. It happens in your 6th house, and it gives you the guidance in terms of what you're supposed to do work-wise. So do the planning. The moon will help you if you've done the planning. If you're just partying and off on a bender, then the 24th is going to be the pinnacle of your bender and you'll black out, I suppose. I'm not trying to be flippant about this, but Uranus can cause a lot of havoc. We've got Venus in retrograde sitting next to your sun. So I don't love myself, I see myself differently. You Sagittarius, don't put yourself at risk in October. You're very vulnerable here. Your work you see differently. It's almost like looking at your life and being a stranger to it. So you're really being hit hard by these retrogrades and by the Uranus placement. So you've got to hang in there. On the 25th and 26th, again, you'll be rewarded by getting good ideas in terms of what to do work-wise. If you're out enjoying yourself, then that still continues. On the 27th, the moon goes into Gemini, and the 28th, and it's in your 7th house. So this is a good time to communicate work-wise, especially if it has to do with something humanitarian or spiritual. Also on the 28th, the clocks go back in the UK. It's the 4th of November if you're in the States. The 29th and 30th are the moon in Cancer forming a grand trine with Scorpio and Neptune. So this is a wonderful day to access your imagination. Any of you Sagittarians who are clairvoyants and mediums, you'll be bombarded with energy during the 29th and the 30th. And less so, weirdly, during Halloween, because the moon in Halloween is in Leo in your 9th, and Mercury moves into Sagittarius in your 1st. So Mercury is now in your house. So actually, you can cast your mind and your spiritual body much further than you can at other times, and you're much more confident about that. So I have to revise what I said. If you're a clairvoyant or a psychic medium or a spiritual healer, you're able to discover new higher beings you can channel. You discover new things that fire you up. So definitely, if you're in a spiritual kind of career or job, use those energies to heal and help people. If you're not in that kind of job, you really are able to know yourself and to see what's moving forward, but ask your higher power to say, please guide me, because this Venus in retrograde is throwing me off. I'm having emotional reactions where I don't, and I don't really want to make plans until my emotions settle. So if you do have to change things in October, make sure you ask your higher power for help, and then it'll be less chaotic and it's less likely to cause you problems later down the road. So that's what I get for you in October. I hope you have a wonderful month. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please visit the website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. Please subscribe to this channel. Check out some of my other videos, the daily tarot reading, the weekly horoscopes, some of the other special astrology videos that I do. Have a wonderful month, and I'll speak to you next month.